Living in Austin, Texas isn't necessarily what you think. I'm going to give you the top 5 pros and 5 cons to living where we keep Austin weird from somebody who's lived here for almost 50 years. So, pro number 1 is that for the size of the city, we are one of the safest, most friendliest cities for the size. As a matter of fact, our crime rate is significantly lower than cities of comparable size. Also, that whole Keep Austin Weird thing is really about bringing all the different cultures and everything together and really being super welcoming. Again, we are in the South, so that Southern hospitality thing is real. You mix all of that together and we have become where, neighbors still talk to each other. I still wave in traffic quite a lot. And all of these things have turned it into one of the safest and friendliest cities of its size. The flip side to that, con number 1 is that it's expensive here. You got to think, Texas, Austin is one of Texas's most expensive cities. And there's some reasons for that. You got to think long before the tech boom, there were giants like IBM and Texas Instruments that actually had campuses here very early on. And so that really was the basis of the tech industry coming here and built a lot of jobs. We had very large IBM campus here. And so there was a lot of stability with that. And the fact that Austin is the capital of Texas meant we had a lot of government jobs. May not be the highest paying jobs, but very stable. So that did a lot as well. And the fact that we went ahead and our zoning, we focused more on having single family homes with yards. And so we were a sprawling area. So those kind of things limited the smaller units, right? And so the houses were just naturally going to be more expensive. When you start to add all of those things up, Austin started out long before the COVID boom, right? We had a lot of stability and opportunity in this city. So we were already one of the most expensive cities to live in. And then we exploded with the COVID boom. In came a whole lot of new people, and a whole lot of businesses as well. One of the biggest migrations of corporations in U.S. history, and Austin got the majority of those. So you start to add all that together, and that's why you end up, while Austin is one of the friendliest, safest cities to live in, it is also one of the most expensive. Pro number 2 for Austin is its cultural diversity. Austin has always really been a melting pot of different cultures, ethnic backgrounds, and you name it. Like, we love that. That's what it really means to keep Austin weird, right? For us, is that we're a melting pot of all the different cultures, food, music, arts, all that. Bring all of that in, and so that is really created what is now Austin's culture. Is everybody is really welcome and celebrated here, and we do that through different festivals. If you look at, we've got some of the most amazing restaurants and one of the highest restaurants per capita cities in the country, and that's all due to the wonderful diversity that is here. And that's, that is definitely one of the best things about Austin. The flip side of that, con number 2, the culture clash is real, y'all. Like, you can be considered a long-time Austenite if you've lived here for 2 years. So that's how rapidly we're growing. That's how it is changing so fast. And, there are a lot of folks that become nostalgic. We've lost places like Threadgills, or the original Threadgills, which, if you don't know Janis Joplin, you need to find out. Learn the history about Austin, but also the Frank Irwin Center, also affectionately known when I was growing up as the Super Drum. And so we've lost some of these places, leaving, some people kind of missing the old Austin. But for somebody who's lived here for 50 years, I can tell you that the buildings can come and go. We can grow as a city as long as we get back to the always get back to the fact that we talk to each other, we're friendly with each other, we're accepting of everybody. Our biggest question is, what kind of food, music, fun, what is it that your culture brings that we can all enjoy and celebrate together at one of these festivals and one of these things? So that does come into play. And then there is the very also very real, like, don't California my Texas. Wow, we definitely welcome all the folks that have moved here from Texas. One of the things that we want to make sure we do as everybody from around the country, but really a lot from California move into Austin, is realize why you moved here. And one of the reasons you moved here is that friendly, right, safe, and just a great culture, and come in and find out how to become an Austenite. If you're not sure, grab an old Austenite like me and just start talking to us. We're going to tell you and share with you all about, talking to each other in the middle of the grocery store line and waving to each other in traffic. We're going to do all those things. So while it's amazing that we get to enjoy all of these wonderful cultures, sometimes that culture clash, we have an explosion of growth, and it's like, but as long as we all agree that we can get back to that really respecting everybody and just having fun with everybody and staying friendly and courteous, let the other guy in first in traffic. We're all going to get there at relatively the same time. As long as we can have that culture and that identity where everybody's welcome. Now, I love Kill Tony. I don't know if any of y'all watch it, but it's perfect because everybody's welcome and nobody is safe, right? If you can't get over yourself, or I can't make a little fun of you and you make fun of me, then we've kind of lost what Austin is. But as long as we can do that, everybody's welcome. Let's get bigger. Let's grow. Let's have fun. But let's always keep that Austin identity. So stick around till we get to con number 5, where I'm going to get really kind of blunt and raw with that one. On to pro number 3 of living in Austin this is a fun city with all kinds of stuff to do. It really is jam-packed with stuff to do. If you can't find something that you enjoy doing in Austin, you actually might be the problem, because not only we've got so many bodies of water. I mean, we have 3 lakes. We've got Lady Bird Lake, Town Lake, Lady Bird Lake, Lake Austin, and Lake Travis. 3 very different size and shaped lakes with different activities, everything from paddle boarding to wakeboarding on up to jet skis and everything else. Then we've got all kinds of different watering holes, everything from Barton Springs, a natural pool downtown, Decker Lake, and just there's all kinds of different sized bodies of water that you can get to, whether you're into fishing, whatever it is. We've got a pot of water that is meant for you to come and play in. Then you also start to think about, man, we've got hike and bike trails. Barton Creek Greenbelt is definitely a large area where you can do that. Zilker Park is very well known, but the truth is that we have them all over the city. One of the suburb cities, Pflugerville, has 56 miles of hike and bike trail. That's just one of our 28 suburb cities has 56 miles of trails. So we have that. We know sports. UT, we only have professional soccer team. We have kept the professional teams out of Austin for a reason. We support UT. We want those young folks to know that they are very, very important to us. But come to one of those games. Come to a UT football game. Go look up UT football games and go watch. We do it unlike anybody else. Dell Diamond has baseball games. Again, it's not the pro level, right? But we do it the way we do it. We have so much fun. Not to mention just the individual sports leagues and teams that we have around that are pretty much for everybody's level. You guys have heard me say my son's in paintball. Like, we've got several paintball fields here. So we've just got tons and tons of sports. Now to the iconic eats. Again, we've got everything from Tex-Mex like Torchy's Tacos, which is taken over. There's other amazing Tex-Mex, but we've got all kinds of Michelin-starred restaurants. Like, the food around here is ridiculous. So if you're like me, you're a foodie, and what you enjoy doing is going out to eat, like, there's plenty of that for sure. Music and arts, live music, capital of the world, anybody? There's always live music, and arts isn't something that's always brought up about Austin, but it's definitely a huge part of, we'll have the Pecan Street Festival. We've just, that is a huge part of the mix, is that music and the science and the arts, and that music and arts. So there is always music, there's always art that you can go and see and be a part of. Austin is just a huge blend of all kinds of activities that you can get into. And so we really do encourage you, when you come check it out. Come check out 6th Street if you want to hit the nightlife, right, and see the music, or get out to any of the outdoor activities that we have. Really come enjoy how much fun this city is. And then con number 3 is it's a little hot here, y'all. And when I say a little hot here, I mean, it is, we've had, back in, I think it was 2011, we had more than 90 days where it was over 100 degrees every single day for over 3 months. And it's not uncommon for us to see record temperatures going up over 110 degrees. And it's not dry heat. It is humid, muggy heat. So when I say it's hot, y'all, I mean, it's just hot. And that's not the only thing with Texas that we have with weathers. We do have thunderstorms and flash flooding. Now, the thunderstorms are, different for people who haven't moved here. Like, when I say thunder, that rolling thunder will come in, but boy, when that thunder's close to you, it literally shakes your house. Which, for me, I grew up here. When that rolling thunder comes in, I'm happy. The flash floods, many of y'all are aware of our most recent in Kerr County, where we lost a lot of kids, but we also have had like Harvey in Houston, and so we do, when it rains here, it really does rain. Now, we do have very mild winters, but even then, maybe some of y'all know, a couple of years ago, we had one of our worst freezes ever, and that caused a lot of problems for a lot of people in Central Texas. So we have mild winters. Typically, we see a couple of freezing days. If it even looks like it may snow tomorrow, we just shut the whole entire town down, because we're not equipped for it. Besides which, it looks like snow when it's falling, but it's ice as soon as it hits the ground. So we don't kind of play with the weather. Is not something to be played with here. So that's con number 3. That brings us to con number 4, bugs, and more bugs. Okay, growing up in Austin, I didn't know this was a thing. I thought that was just the way it was everywhere. But apparently, Texas has a lot of bugs. We're just as diverse in our bugs as we are in people, apparently. And, a lot of them can be not nice, from mosquitoes, which make evenings during the spring and summer a battle, to fire ants, which you have to keep control of in the yards. That's not fun for kids and pets. We even have the tarantulas and scorpions. I actually, not just once, but twice in 2 different beds in parts of the suburbs, got stung in bed asleep by scorpions. So yes, bugs, and more bugs. If it creeps and crawls, we probably have it. We have some nicer ones as well. You'll be able to hear the June bugs hitting the door. Stupidest bugs on the face of the earth. We call them June bugs because they're supposed to be here during June, but they can't tell the time, and so they're never here on time. And so Yeah, we've got those, and so there's lots of just bugs in the Austin area. Now, pro number 4 is Austin's economy. While in 2025, our real estate market has slowed down some, and some of the economy has slowed a little bit in the tech sector. The truth is Austin's economy is doing really, really strong for all the reasons that I've talked about, that it's a capital city. UT is always very strong. We've got a very high entrepreneur spirit here. We still have a ton of tech companies here. Dell's been here forever. We have Samsung. I mean, Apple's got one of the larger campuses outside of California is here in Austin. Google's still here. Obviously, Elon and all his businesses, Tesla is here. So we've got a ton of that. We talked about the highest restaurant per capita, one of the largest cities for that. And so all the entrepreneurs that go into that, and we just, Keep Austin Weird was about promoting small businesses. And so being an entrepreneur, being a small business, like there's tons of that here as well. So when you come to Austin, bring your A game, because while there's a lot of opportunity, there's a lot of competition. So bring your A game for pro number 4, Austin's amazing economy. And that brings us to our 2 final pros and cons. Con number 5. Now, for me, everybody talks about their city has bad traffic. Well, we were built to fail by design, and so there's a lot that goes into that. Again, somebody who's been here almost my whole life, they've been pushing light rail, public transportation forever. This is Texas. We drive our own cars. So they have been pushing this and trying to convince the voters of this since the mid 80s. And by doing so, they literally kick the can down the road of doing proper infrastructure and building out our roads, causing that traffic by design so that we would vote for light rail. It came up in the mid 80s, came up for a major vote in 2000, failed again. 2014, failed. Came out, finally passed in 2020, but by the time it was so scaled back that it really was a bait and switch. And so we had decades of failing with that. Most cities have tolls that wrap around the city. We have this patchwork of tolls, which helps, but since it is a patchwork, people really just stay on 35. 35 is a major problem, and we know it, and we even have a section there where there's an upper and lower deck split just north of downtown, and that has caused so many problems, especially on the lower deck, people getting onto that ramp. That's so many accidents that we shut down several of those ramps. So like major problems with that. And really Austin was set up. We had 35 and we had Mopac. It was north and south, and we have Austin documents even showing that we were really weak on creating east and west. Now we have some now with 183 Research, William Cannon, some other ones, but really our traffic is as bad as it is simply because politics. We were designed to fail here. So that is con number 5, and that, sorry folks, but that is why we have such bad traffic. Now, pro number 5, live music capital of the world. And that is true. And, there's some amazing things with that. I used to go down Auditorium Shores, and that's where it used to be before it was moved over by ACL. This was just the Wednesday, we call it, Blues on the Green. But when I was a kid, it was just a free concert in the park on Wednesday. And went and saw, my dad used to play guitar, and so all of a sudden I heard this song I recognized, and I stopped and I looked, and Stevie Ray Vaughan's on stage just playing a couple of songs with his brother. And back in those days, like, he literally got done playing his couple of songs, set down his guitar, and just walked off the front of the stage into the crowd. And that was always the way Austin was. And so now, yeah, that was a couple hundred people. Now we have 2,000-3,000 people just show up for a free concert in the park on Wednesday nights, and we don't have any problems. And how amazing is that, that we can literally just, as a city, have thousands of people come enjoy a live concert for free and not really have any major problems out of that. Yes, we have 6th Street and bars all over the city. As a matter of fact, you want to see some amazing and have great time, get outside of downtown and go see some of those local bands, and you'll really get to hear some amazing music. But it's not uncommon to see like famous people like me downtown on 6th Street, because we want to go see that band that we really love, and that's part of our culture. And we have South by Southwest, which is just such a unique blend of technology, music, arts, everything, and all of that, all wrapped up into what we are. And so the live music capital of the world, while Nashville is Music Town, and I'm not going to knock them for it, there's something about Austin, like we talked about, with the education and the arts, and that's why tech fits so well here, is the that education meets arts and sciences and all that are huge. But at the core of that, what we all get around and hang out is our music. And Willie Nelson helped to bring that about, and it's still a core reason why it's such a fun place to live. Music just brings everybody together. You just hear just a little bit of a song, and it takes you right back to a place, a time of memory. And so we celebrate that here. It's part of our culture. It's part of what makes Austin so unique. And so, if you are thinking about buying, selling, moving around in the Austin area, I hope that you found this helpful. Love to hear in the comments some of what your favorite things are about Austin, maybe what you hate most about Austin. And while it's not a great fit for everybody, we do our best to make sure that everybody feels welcome, whether you're moving here, coming here to just hang out. We always want to make sure that you feel welcome, and that we respect you as an individual, and we invite you to share with us what you have to bring to this amazing city. And so we'll go from there. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.